Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to Tank's Life. My name is Asher, if you're new to the channel, welcome. And today, I've already been to the fish store, my local fish store where I get all my corals and stuff. I actually purchased a few corals I can't wait to show you guys to put in my 15-gallon reef tank. And I think it finished its ugly stages, and it's been almost 7 months having the tank, so I'm thinking we're going to start adding some corals slowly, but not too fast. So let me show you some of the corals I got. So I got 2 corals, but you can actually count this one as 3. But before I show you guys anything, let me go to the fish store and show you the clips of me actually getting the corals. I'm at the fish store, time to buy some corals to put in the reef tank. Let's go inside. Here at my local fish store, and I found a trumpet coral and a frog spawn right next to each other on the same plug. Really cool to see. I'm gonna be getting one of those and putting it in my tank. So here trumpet corals, and here's a frog spawn in a trumpet coral right next to each other. It's really cool to see. Thank you. Sure. I'm also going to get the zoanthid frag. So, let me show you some of the corals I got. So I got 2 corals, but you can actually count this one as 3. So actually I got 1 trumpet, and I got a zoa, right? And on the zoa I found don't know the name, I'll show you guys, but it practically eats and lays eggs in your zoas and kills them. So I'm kind of in a rush to dip my coral, and I'll show you what the trumpet looks like. See, you guys see how bright the trumpet's colors are just from the light, not even the tank. But what's next to the trumpet is really cool. So let's go dip the corals. Alright guys, let's get to dipping the corals. I'm using this Acclimation reef dip as a coral dip. So let's start unbagging these corals and getting it inside the dip. Let's cut open the bags. Let me see. Yeah, so this candy cane coral or trumpet coral, or however you guys like to say it, actually has a frog spawn on the ends of its polyp. Let me show you. You can see how bright the colors are just from the light, but here's a candy cane coral, and right here is a frog spawn, which is really cool, so I can't wait for that to pop out. Alright guys, so now I'm going to go open up this bag. I'm hoping to show you guys what the pest looks like so I can identify it. Okay guys, so here's the zoa, here's what it looks like. I think there's about at least 30 heads on here, 30 or 40 heads on here, which is pretty cool to see. I can actually see the pest on there, but I'm going to see if I can like try sucking it up or if the coral dip will kill it. I'm not sure yet, but I'm just gonna see what the dip does to it first. Let's mix this up and let it sit. Oh, there it is. There it is, right there. It just popped out. It looks like a little slug. Little hairs on its back. See it? It just came off the coral. That's it, right there. Should I pull it out with tweezers, or should I just let it die? Here, I sucked it up. Oh my gosh. I sucked up with this little thing. It's in here. That's crazy. The heck? That's honestly pretty cool, but imagine I put that in my tank without dipping my coral. That's why you have to dip your corals before you put it in your tank, so you don't know what it's carrying on them. And it was on the zoa when I first saw it, so that's why I'm thinking it was going after the zoa. Here's the zoa. I'm looking, I don't really see anything right now. I'm actually just going to use this and blow the corals, and that's how I actually got it out. The first time was by just mixing the water, and that's when I had that thing pop out of nowhere. So I'm just blowing the zoa. What it was is a nudibranch, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. They usually eat zoas and most corals, and they lay eggs into corals and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm glad I got it out. I'm gonna let the coral the coral sit in the dip for about 15 minutes, just to make sure anything that's on the corals doesn't make it. And then I'm gonna start acclimating. And I actually did purchase corals off Worldwide Corals online, and they're gonna be shipped in 2 days, or coming in 2 days. It's a few different sorts of zoas, and so I'm hopefully wanting to start a zoa garden just because they're really cool, fascinating, and they're just an easy coral in general. They don't take much to keep them alive. So I got a zoa. I already have a paleozoa and a zoanthid in here. I'm just going to be adding another zoa, and I got that candy cane, or whatever you guys want to call it, trumpet coral, and the Euphilia, the frog spawn. So I got the frog spawn in the trumpet coral for only $25 together, which is not bad, but can't wait to put them in my tank. What I do know is that most Euphilias like hammers and frog spawn and all that type of stuff. They all like medium light and medium flow. So I'm going to be finding a place that has both of those. And the trumpet, I think, likes lower flow, medium light, I'm pretty sure. But because they're on the same plug, I'm just going to have to figure out how I'm going to get both of them to find a good place. So the zoa I got today, I'm going to add to this rock with these other two zoas and paleozoas, and I'm pretty much going to put it on this rock. And the 3 that I bought from Worldwide Corals will also go in this area. It kind of make like a zoa garden almost. And so they'll all grow into each other and make like a pretty full zoa garden along this rock right here. And so that's what I'm planning on doing. So the corals have been in this dip for about 10 minutes, I think, give or take. And so I'm going to actually rinse them off in new fresh salt water, to take off all the coral dip off the corals. Because you don't really want that dip going to your main tank, because it could just do a lot of problems in your tank. And so just going to rinse these corals off in new water. And then after that, I'm going to start acclimating the corals and getting into the tank. Okay, I'm going to put this in a new container where it will be acclimating. Here's it is the trumpet and the frog spawn. I put it in there, shake it all around, rinse it all off, and put it inside a new container. I'm going to dump these two things out. Okay. So they're in this container. I'm going to start adding water slowly. Okay, so I'm going to start acclimating by just pouring cups of water into the bowl. My tank stands around 78 degrees, and so I'm just going to slowly pour water every so often in the course of like 30 minutes to get the corals acclimating, and like every 10 minutes I'll add another cup of water. Acclimating for a while, and I'm actually going to cut off the plugs, or at least the one on the zoanthid. Oh, I can't get the focus, and maybe parts of the one on the trumpet coral, and so I can place it on a rock and glue it. It'll be easier to move. I'm just going to use some of these cutters. I don't know. So I found it, so I use, and it cuts well. Alright, so I'm going to now put the trumpet coral and the frog spawn coral in the tank. I just want to show you how bright green. Oh, it's hard to see. The light is so bright, but how bright green the coral is against the light. So I'm gonna cut off this plug here so I can put it on something. Just like that. Alright, that makes things a lot more easier now. Guess I could put it on just like that. Guess I'm just gonna get some of this coral putty, just a small bit of it, roll it around. Alright guys, let's put the coral in the water. Try to think where to place it. See here. So, I can't film this part, unfortunately. I can't try cutting the coral, holding the coral and everything at the same time, but here is a zoanthid, a lot of polyps on it, and you can see there is some polyps on the stem part, but those are just got to go. I'm going to cut off the bottom part of the plug, and I'm going to glue it next to all these zoanthids and paleozoas. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and I'll get back to you guys when I'm done. So I just took off the plug off the coral. I'm going to put on this coral putty and put on the rocks just like this one. Okay guys, so let's put the zoa in the tank. This is only about 30 minutes after putting in the tank. The corals are already starting to open up. Can't wait to see what it looks like in a day or two.